Chapter 10. Grow Up. A few weeks had gone by since Tyra had been home. Karen wanted her to press charges on John, but Tyra refused. When Jamal told them that John hadn't been locked up, Markel called his brother Barry to go and talk to Tyra and find out what was going on. Barry knocked on the door. Karen answered it.
Hi, I'm Markel's brother. I'm looking for Tyra.
Come on in. Tyra, someone's here to see you.
Tyra came out of her room.
Hello, Tyra.
Hi.
I'm Barry Howard, Markel's brother.
I didn't know Markel had a brother. It's nice to meet you. Have a seat. What can I do for you?
Barry takes a seat on the couch, and Tyra sits in the chair across from him. Karen stood in back of the sofa with her arms crossed in front of her chest.
Well, I hope you won't be embarrassed, but he told me what happened at camp. He became concerned when he heard that John was still roaming the streets. He wanted me to check on you and find out why. Did you file charges?
I've tried to talk her into it, but she refused.
I just wanted to all go away. I wanted to pretend it never happened.
It won't be that easy. Every time you see him, you're gonna remember what he tried to do to you. When school starts, he'll be in your face every day. Don't you know that boy could really hurt you if he wanted to?
But he won't.
You can't know that for sure. Do you think Jamal and the boys will always come to your aid?
John and I just had a slight misunderstanding. It won't happen again.
Have you talked to Jamal since you've been back?
No, I've been meaning to call him and thank him.
He really misses you.
Yeah, but he needs to relax. He's taking this relationship way too serious.
You both took it too serious, Tyra. If you two would have just enjoyed spending time together instead of trying to be adults, you would have not been in this predicament you're in now.
Tyra puts her head down.
I told you I was sorry.
Yeah, well, sorry doesn't cut it. Mama sent you out here thinking it would help you. I was supposed to be taking care of you. When she finds out about this, she's gonna kill both of us.
Barry had no idea what the two were talking about.
Well, Jamal, he jokes a lot, but he takes everything important to him serious, especially his relationship with you and his rivalry with John.
What happened between the two of them for them to hate each other so much?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. You see those three boys? They're really tough kids. They all been through a lot, but Jamal's been through the most. He's the only one of us who never knew his father. The man took off before he was born. Javon, Jamal's brother, was only 3.
I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah, our moms were all sisters and single parents. Our dads were around, but not as much as they should have been. They started this mom's night out thing. Every Saturday I'd be left home with those 4. Javon was older, so he wasn't that bad. But the other 3 were only 10 and was always up to no good. Well, one night I got this crazy phone call. It was a bad car crash that claimed the lives of my Aunt Dana, Jamal's mom, my Aunt Carolyn, Kelton's mom, and my mother Lisa. I was 19 years old. I had to drop out of college to raise 4 boys. Jamal took it hard. We all did, to tell you the truth. Shortly after that, Javon got a little older and started dating. There was this one girl that had his heart. Her name was Ashley. The girl had just had a bad breakup with John. He and John had a bad fight over it. Then, one day last year, Javon was just walking his girl home, and on his way home himself, he was shot and killed. Ashley told us that John had been following them all that night. She just never said anything to Javon because she didn't think it was a big deal. She knew John was a little crazy. That's why she broke up with him, but she thought he was coming after her. John also told a few people about what he had done. It was like he was bragging about it. He even threw it in Jamal's face a couple of times. That boy never did have all his marbles, but there were no witnesses, so we couldn't get a conviction. This was really tough on all of us. We were still trying to pick up the pieces from the death of our parents. Jamal and Brittany were in this little puppy love relationship at the time. The day after Javon was buried, Jamal cut her loose.
Why?
Is that a trick question?
Okay, Tyra. I've heard you talk about her before, but is she really that bad?
Are you kidding me? She's the most irritating little girl I've ever met. And she's very high maintenance. Jamal never did say why he called it off with her, and I didn't ask. I was just happy to see her go. But I think the problem was Brittany is spoiled. Everything has to be about her. And Jamal needed someone he could lean on. Someone who could relate to what he was going through.
Tyra, you can relate to him. You haven't spoken about Dad since he died. Maybe it would be easier for you too.
I know the two of you had problems getting along in the past, but he really feels close to you now. Maybe the two of you were brought together for a reason.
Tyra, you're gonna have to talk to him sooner or later.
Where is he?
He's home.
Karen, can I go?
Of course.
They drove over to the small two-bedroom apartment where Barry lived with the three boys. They went in, and Jamal was sitting on the sofa watching cartoons.
Hey Jamal, I brought someone to see you.
He looked up and saw Tyra.
Hi.
I'll just leave you two to talk. Tyra, just let me know when you're ready to go home.
Barry walked out, and Tyra sat on the sofa next to Jamal. She was a little nervous.
So, how are you?
Fine.
There was a long pause.
Why didn't you tell me about your mother and brother?
I didn't think you'd understand. Plus, in my experience, girls don't like it when boys is leaning on them.
I'm not Brittany, and I know what it's like to need someone to lean on. I've been leaning on all you guys since I moved out here. Do you know why I moved out here?
No.
My father died, and I didn't know how to handle it. I had never dealt with that so closely before. None of us had. Everyone was dealing their own way, but I'm like you, I need someone to lean on. So my sister brought me here, and I met you and your cousins. And even though I hated your ass in the beginning, things worked out for the best. And that made everything perfect, even though we only lasted for days.
That's the ideal time for puppy love.
It's time to stop playing these puppy love games and grow up, though.
Something in her voice scared him. He looked up at Tyra. She looked worried.
What's wrong?
I'm pregnant.
What?
I'm sorry.
Jamal was so shocked he could not speak.
Jamal, say something.
Your sister know?
Yeah,
What'd she say? Was she mad?
she's coming to terms with it. I mean, there's nothing she could do. The damage is done. What are we gonna do?
Jamal didn't say a word.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. We're gonna figure this out.
He pulled her closer to him and put his arm around her shoulder. She laid her head on his shoulder, and they sat there in silence.